the devastating prodigy, the crazy golden child of a new era, the heavyweight division's very own Moses Itauma is who we're talking about today. And the reason why I'm bringing him up is because there's so many articles going around, and we are anticipating his next fight with bated breath because of the amount of opponents that have been picked from different articles and different interviewers and different promoters going on their takes about who they think his next fight should be. Before we carry on with this video, guys, make sure you like and subscribe and comment in the comment section below who should be the next opponent for Moses Itauma. Right, guys, so as you can see, I've got an article here that says Moses Itauma is 100% down for the Usyk chance. In my opinion, I think this is wrong, but I wanted to put this article up here because I want to talk about the Usyk chance for Moses Itauma. Like, are we serious? I feel like this is the most unfair fight to give to Moses Itauma because of the stature and the insane ability and experience that Usyk has. He is the #1 in the heavyweight division, and I think for Moses Itauma, this would just be a step too far up of a challenge, and it will be too steep, and we would know for sure that it will be unfair. It will be a clear Usyk win. There's no reason for him to take such a big leap at this moment in time. If he was gonna go for a world title, which I think he shouldn't, I would say go for the ones that will get stripped and go against someone that is a bit less experienced as an Usyk, which is not hard to find because we can already see Fabio Wardley versus Daniel Dubois for a stripped title. And I think those two are not too much more ahead of Moses Itauma in experience, and we're talking in boxing, by the way, because they are both older than him by a bit, but they're not as experienced as some of the other fighters in boxing term. With that being said, I do have other little images to show you to see who else who's been in the sphere of being a potential next fight for Itauma. We got Andy Ruiz, who I think is a very interesting one, but he has said not now. I would prefer to fight him in maybe at least another 2 fights. And that's fair enough because we haven't seen Andy Ruiz in a while, and I think this would be a massive step up for Moses Itauma, but one that might be needed because we haven't really seen Itauma get like anything thrown back at him in any of the fights that he's been in recently. A lot of the fights that he's been in, the guys might have been tougher than his earlier fights where he was just knocking them out in first round or the second round. But they've been tougher, but they've only been trying to survive. They haven't been actually trying to throw back at Itauma or try to give him something to think about. And I think Andy Ruiz will be a fantastic fighter that will definitely give as much as he's receiving. And I think that would be a fantastic fight. Maybe, like Randy Ruiz said, in another 2 fights, I would think the exact same for Moses Itauma, just because Andy Ruiz, I think, would be too much of a shock to the system with the response he would give. He's got really fast hands and he's really good in the pocket. And Itauma, I do think, would be able to run rings around Andy Ruiz, but I don't know if he's ready to take the punishment back. And I think Andy Ruiz is fast enough to catch him on the break. So I don't know, maybe in a couple fights, in my opinion, I would say this would also be a fantastic fight. But for the next one, no, not against Andy Ruiz. Not if he's getting two fights to tune up on and get back to that sharpness, that Ruiz we saw against the first fight against AJ or against Miller. Those 2 fights, obviously before he got his hand broken, to be fair, because that was a massive glaring issue with that fight. If we can get that much conditioning out of Andy Ruiz and he's as sharp as he was in the first fight against AJ, I think that would be a fantastic fight for Moses in 1 or 2 fights time. We got Wilder. In my opinion, this one, as much as I said, yo, don't give him someone who's got a lot of experience, I think Deontay Wilder has a lot of experience. He's gotten over 40 fights professionally, and he is a Olympian, but his technical ability is so bad that I would say Moses Atama would definitely beat him if he was able to fight him in his next fight. Because of his technical ability being vastly superior to Chisora, to to Wilder, and also his speed is so fast, foot wise and punch wise, that I don't think Deontay Wilder will be able to see what hits him and will be able to react fast enough to catch Itauma. Now, I do think Wilder is fast, letting off his right hand, but he needs to really time it properly. And I don't think he has the reaction speed. He might have the speed in throwing the punch, but his reaction speed, I don't think, will be fast enough to catch Itauma. And I don't think he'll be able to get into his rhythm with the way Itauma moves and the way he punches and combinations really fast. He would disrupt Wilder's rhythm anytime he tried to set anything going for himself. So I think this would be a great fight for Itauma because of the fact that I think Wilder is lacking in too many technical areas to really possess any chance of winning a fight against Moses Itauma. So I think this would be a fantastic fight for his next fight, and it will just boost his reputation, his status in the heavyweight division, and probably push him up a little bit further with the other sanctioning bodies, because he's already number one in two of them, but it can maybe boost him up even higher to the top three in the other sanctioning bodies and the Ring magazine, for example, as well. So this is a perfect fight in my opinion, because I think it's almost a sure guaranteed win. No offense, Wilder, I just think he's not the same guy he used to be, and technically he was never the guy, unfortunately. He's a very limited fighter. Hrgović, this was insane when I saw this. I don't know if this is actually true, that it is part of his new multi-fight Queensberry deal, but fantastic matchup, these two. Hrgović definitely has more experience than Itauma, but his lack of wanting fights, I don't know, his want is really lacking in fights. And I think with his loss against someone like Daniel Dubois, it really gives me the confidence that Moses Itauma would definitely give Hrgović a good fight, and it will be a really good learning fight for Moses Itauma, because this is someone with a lot of quality. He's dangerous in his own right, but he's definitely not going to come in there and just try to survive. He'll be a proper contender for Itauma, and I think this would be 100% a learning fight. I will be edging more like 70% to Itauma in this fight, but I could definitely see Hrgović winning it. And one thing a lot of people I see in the new era of boxing is not liking people losing, but I wouldn't mind seeing maybe Itauma taking a loss, because for me that would just be good experience for him and something for him to learn. So I could see him losing against Hrgović, but I can see him just winning anyway, because it's a learning curb, it's something for his experience going forward. I don't think he will lose, but even if he did lose in this fight, I would say this is a fantastic fight to have for experience and learning and really evolving into a more devastating fighter. Learning from someone like Hrgović is a fantastic thing. But that's kind of negative of me by saying that he's going to lose. I don't think he will. I think this is a good fight because it will boost his status as well. Again, his reputation, everything will just go off the roof if he beats someone like Hrgović. And again, he would only go higher in the rankings if he's already not mandatory for the sanctioning bodies. If Moses Itauma is down and Hrgović gets past David Allen, which I think he would, Dave Allen isn't anywhere near Hrgovic's level, in my opinion. That would be a fantastic fight for Moses Itauma's next fight, going up against Hrgović. And they're both in the same they're both in the same promotion, so it's fantastic, easy to make, and will definitely sell a lot of seats. This one is very interesting, this article, because it literally says that Frank Warren is definitely looking to get him a top 10. And I've got a couple of ones in mind, in my opinion, that I think would be a fantastic opponent if it wasn't the others that I've shown already. We got let me say that again. We've got Frank Sanchez. I think he will be a fantastic contender to go up against Moses Itauma. Ajit Caballero, who I think will be a fantastic fighter as well, and boost Moses Itauma, take over Ajit Caballero, because I think he's mandatory for one of the belts for Usyk. It will put Moses Itauma ahead, and maybe he will take Ajit Caballero's spot. However, I do think that is very unlikely because Ajit Caballero is a very safety first guy in and out of the ring, and he would not take anything that will risk his mandatory for a title. So, as much as I think that's a great fight, I don't think it'll happen. And one more, I think people might find this crazy, but I think Riakporhe. Maybe throwing Riakporhe under the bus, but I think it will be a fantastic matchup. These two would be awesome to fight against each other. I think Riakporhe is coming up in weight, but he looks chiseled at heavyweight, and he looks powerful. He had a decent fight, a decent showing against TKV. Shows that he can fight against the big lads, and he is comfortable at the weight. I think why not go for Moses Itauma? Now that I'm thinking of it, oh my days, I would even like to see David Adley as well. I think David Adley should stay clear away from Moses Itauma, but for Moses Itauma, I think this would be a fantastic scalp to have, because he's a great person on the record, I think, to have as a decent win, and it would just boost his reputation. So those are like the top 10 opponents I think are decent, that clearly Frank Warren wants for Itauma to have in his next fight. And I think those are decent opponents. So yes, I just wanted to highlight again the ranking system. It's WBO, WBA first, so he's mandatory for 2 already. IBF, he's top 5. WBC, he's second. Ring, he's in the top 6. And Box Live, which is I just think the website that I got this from, he's top 7. Now, with that being said, guys, I think next fight will either be a top 10 opponent or maybe someone that is like a Wilder or something. Someone that is maybe not in the top 10 right now, but they are top 10 worthy. And if he can get himself another fight, I think another fight that's within that range, maybe even out of the top 10, just to really boost his status, get him pushed out more for the casual fans to see more of Moses Itauma. I think that would be good. Give him a little bit more rounds, sharpen him up a bit more, get him talking around the casual fans, so the other fighters will be more confident in taking this fight. Because I genuinely think the issue is not just that he's too green or too inexperienced. I think it's also the others are a bit fearful of fighting him, losing, and basically not getting enough money for it. I think they think it's not enough reward for this big risk in Moses Itauma. So I think they genuinely need to boost Moses Itauma's markability. If they do that, I think there'll be more bigger fights for him coming easier, and they're more willing to take that risk while still getting a decent reward for it. So these guys are prize fighters. They're doing these fights to make money, so at the end of the day, they want to be paid what they deserve to be paid, and taking these risks, especially against someone like Moses Itauma, they would like to get paid what they are worth. So yes, guys, let me know what you think of this video. Like and subscribe, and let me know what you think about Moses Itauma and his next fight. And should he be going for a title really soon, or should he keep on building his name, his reputation, and then go for a big one after maybe Usyk is out of the picture? So yeah, let me know, guys, what you think of that. Now, see you in the next video. Peace.